Welcome back to the second half of the Bobby Dupre Show, and my sidekick, Andrew, is still right by my side.
Birthday boy, how are you?
Birthday boy is doing great. We've got a lot of good things to talk about.
Yeah.
And one of the things I want to say is somebody that never misses our program. In fact, watches some of the reruns after it occurs on Thursday morning. I'm speaking of Miss Carolyn Fontenot, who happens to be a sister of Miss Gail Stute. Saw Gail and we were talking, and she says, you know, your
Carolyn.
program entertains a lot of people. And she says, my sister probably is your #1 fan. Good morning to you, and to all of you that watch it. We don't get to hear all the stories, but lately I've been with different people, and we go to different places, and people walk up to me and tell me hello, and they enjoy the program, and they say, well, you know, I didn't realize your program was as popular as it is. I said, well, we talk just about good things. Let's get on to some other good
Fifi
things.
Lacombe call you this morning?
Fifi Lacombe, I'm glad you mentioned that. She gets her $2. She used to charge $1, and a few years ago I said, you know, that's not enough. Inflation, you should charge everybody $2. So I'll give you $5. Next time you see me, and I'll be sure to tap me on the shoulder.
There you go.
Fifi Lacombe from Port Barre, Louisiana, calls everybody, not just Bobby Dupre. If she knows your birthday, she will call you on your birthday and get in touch with you.
We got an update on Ross Hebert, you know, the young man who was involved with a big accident there in Lafayette. He was moved, we said last week, down to the big Touro Infirmary down in New Orleans, where they specialize in head injuries. This week we found out that they removed the trach tube. Now he's able to speak a little bit. He was whispering a few words to Keisha, everything's starting to come back. But it's a slow process. We want you to keep him and the whole family in your prayers, Ross and Keisha, and of course the little boy Ethan, and of course they're expecting the baby Bennett on the way in May. So if you want to give a donation at Ken's Thrift Away or Liz Durio's Curios, they've got the Stay Strong Ross bracelets. You can get a bracelet there.
And they need
like
it, like I have right here. Might just add that this is a slow process. Last night for the State of the Union, Ms. Gabrielle Giffords, who was shot approximately 1 year ago, it's about a year ago, that she was shot in the head at a she was making
like a town
hall meeting out in the open
Arizona.
in Arizona, where the district she represented, and some we'll use the word lunatic shot her, and the bullet went right through her, but they didn't think she would live. And here she is. Last night she walked into the State of the Union smiling, a beautiful smile. She just has a natural smile, and a standing ovation. They just didn't want to sit down, and she finally had to kind of, you know, calm them down. And then of course today, Wednesday morning, she was making her final vote. And then she's going to resign either today or tomorrow. She'll officially resign. She feels that she needs to concentrate on her own life and the rehab. She's having an extensive amount of rehab, and a lot of it is taking place right here in Houston, Texas.
Houston's got a huge facility for that.
And we
and of
wish...
course, the husband's recently retired out of Houston because he worked for NASA.
So they're at home. They know a lot of people in the area. And I just want to wish she and her husband, Kelly, I think is his first name, my daughter's name, you see that? That's how I remembered it. And we want to wish them nothing but success and continued improvement. Dr. What you call his name? Sanjay Gupta
on CNN. Who's a brain surgeon.
Yeah, just a wonderful doctor. He just, I don't know, you feel like you know him personally if you watched him a few times. And he went over the complete history of how the bullet entered, where it entered, what occurred, and the approximate amount of her rehab. Very interesting, and our prayers are with all these people, and particularly Ross right here in town, my brother John, who's resting well, Mr. Johnny Raymond, our friend Seminole. Huey, Seminole.
with
We
the
mustn't
knee
forget
and
him.
a little bit of heart issues
Yeah.
as well, which is where, originally that was his health issue, was a heart issue.
Yep. And all of our friends out there, you can't name them at the moment,
Got
but I do pray every night for you all. Francis Burley. Francis Burley was over. It was either in New Orleans at a swimming pool or it was in Destin, Florida, one or the other. And he was with a large group of company people he works with, and he says to the bartender, he says, get me a brewski. So when he said that, when he got his brewski, he walked back. I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, sir, I said, I've only heard brewski used one other time before, and that's my dear friend Pierre Mistro. And he says, you know Pierre? I said, yeah, personal friend. I said, for many, many years. And he says, I'll be darned. He says, I know Pierre real well. And he says, be sure to tell him hello. Well, Pierre called me up a few days ago and told me that he ran across Francis while they were making calls in the same town. I think they were in Orneville. And good morning to Francis. And of course, this morning I talked to Pierre. He called to wish me many more happy birthdays. And Francis, of course, is from Church Point, and his mother was one of the Horrocks. So he is homegrown Church Point boy.
Now I got to sneak a bunch of sponsors in because we're way behind. Piggly Wiggly. Go down to your local Piggly Wiggly store locations throughout South Louisiana. Opelousas, Church Point, Rain, Scott, Cecilia, St. Martinville. That's 2 in Opelousas, 1 in Simsport as well. They've got whole fryers for 79 cents a pound. They've got the sirloin in pork chops, 99 cents a pound. They've got boneless beef shoulder roast, $2.99 a pound, and they got that boneless, skinless chicken, either the breast or the tenders, for $4.99 a pound. You can't beat them. Go buy. The pig knows best. And let's go with Carl.
You know, that was Kelly Lejeune. Kelly's in Church Point. Kelly was one that was at Kelly Cormier's the dinner the other night. He and his wife, Betty.
There you go.
Good morning to you all.
Carl's Thrifty Way.
That son Scotty is the owner of the store now.
Correct. That's right. If you want to go and get your medicines, Carl's Thrifty Way. If you're like me, you're kind of fighting that cold, can't quite beat it, you need to get you some of that sinus medication, go by and just talk to their pharmacist there and say, I'm not quite bad enough to go to the doctor yet. You can recommend something. I kind of got the sneezes, I got the itchy eyes, whatever. They'll give you some ideas of what maybe you can take. And if you go and you get your prescription, you go in there and you're like, can I drink with this? Can I drive with this? Can I do this with that? Can I do, this one make my stomach upset. Should I eat with it? They can sit with you and they can make you understand what you need to do with all your medicine. They can compound multiple prescriptions together to make it easier to take. We've got a great gift shop and gift wrapping as well. How about Dixie Storage? All your storage needs. That's personal and commercial as well. You can get the little bitty units to put a handful of things in. You can get the bigger units if you got to put something like maybe some furniture. Get the massive units. Maybe you want to put a big RV in and keep it plugged. Your boat. Maybe you're a big business. Maybe you need a whole warehouse with load and ramps and
they do business with
access.
some of the largest company in the world, Exxon Mobil.
The Fortune Top 5.
That's correct.
You talk about the big companies.
So
they'll do inventory control for you as well.
They're reputable.
And don't forget their sister company, A Plus Glass, with locations in Lafayette and in Opelousas. I went by here in Opelousas this past week. They did a wonderful truck inspection for me. You need to get an inspection done. They looked at my windows, made sure I didn't have any cracks. I've gone when I've had a crack. They've changed the window for a good price and have done that for me as well to make sure you got all the lights on. Because you want to be safe. The inspection's not just about what the law says you got to do. It's making sure all them little lights work that you never get a chance to see yourself. So go by A Plus Glass, their sister company.
Dialed the wrong number recently and ended up speaking with my long time friend, Mr. Woodrow Thompson. He was an educator, and of course he was one of the best tennis players and played way up into his mid-70s, and says he's finally retired, but now he's a minister of the of God, for God.
Well, excellent.
Speaking for God. So Woodrow, good morning to you and your family. And a wonderful man, did a great job for the community over many, many years. And recently, while I showed some pictures of a couple of girls that work over at Blackberries.
Yes,
A couple of friends that were there was Billy and his wife Patsy Fry. Of course, they own Ray's Boudin, Ray's and Billy's Boudin
Locations
on the east end of town.
Here, Cross Springs, and Scott.
And Scott too.
And Scott.
Yeah. And doesn't he own the laundry, or is that a relative?
I think it's a relative.
Might be a relative, but the Fry family.
Yes.
And of course, with them was a longtime friend of mine that I met with our late deceased friend, Mr. Don Oye, and I'm speaking of Mark Fry and his wife Melinda were there. And Mark and I'm sorry I took Mark away from the group for such a long period, but we had so many good moments. And his wife Melinda says, Bobby, finally get to see you again. She says, I remembered meeting you years ago, but you sure were an excuse for a lot of his late nights getting home. He lives in Point Capee Parish. And she says, I think y'all were at Frank's. I said, yeah, I was the owner of Frank's back in those days.
So you were just going to check the books.
That's correct. And he was just there because Don would make him go there. He didn't want to really be there, but no, we had great times together. And then, of course, another couple came and told me hello, Mr. and Mrs. Melvin Kidder. 89 years young.
Kidding. He's that old
and
now.
That's his second wife, of course, Diane Savoy. That's her mother. She looks spry. She's several years younger, maybe 11 or 12 years younger. But Mr. Melvin and Ms. Melvin, thank y'all so much for coming to say hello. And another person who spoke to me was Lanny Lyles and his wife. She worked for Joe Callahan for a long, long time.
Excellent.
And that's another, that's correct. That's our longtime friend. And you remember we met him and he had that beautiful leather jacket.
Brown leather jacket with brass tips on the collar.
Yep, I remember that.
I like that jacket.
I told that, you know whose father-in-law step-father-in-law that is? Jason Hugay. He married Jason's mama recently.
Really?
That's something you hadn't heard of
like
yet.
That?
Yes, sir.
But
yes,
he was
sir.
in and out that billing so much. I mean, you had to leave with something.
That's correct. And anyhow, you can see I pass a good time. I go around. I meet a lot of people. People are congenial. Break the ice. You know, that's the word I use all the time. If you want to talk to somebody, just go up to them and introduce yourself and say, you sure look like a friend of mine. Have we met before? Or just something. And if they, like 99% of the people, they're going to be very pleasant with you. Even if they not wanting to talk to you, they might be busy. They might have something deep thought going on. But they won't embarrass you.
And how many years did philosophy has worked for you?
It's worked 75 years for me. 75 years.
The anniversary of it. The anniversary of it. We got the OC's Tasters Dinner and Auction. All the chefs we've talked about, from chef owner Jason Hugay at the Steamboat, all the local restaurants around here and into Lafayette, Préjean's, Oblis's General Hospital chefs. They'll be cooking. It's on February 8th on a Wednesday night at the Oblis Civic Center. Doors open at 6. Food starts at 6:30, $30 a person, all you can eat. They have bottomless wine glasses and beer huggies for sale for only $10. All kind of auctions and drawings to help out Oblis's Catholic schools. You can get tickets if you want at Piggly Wiggly, St. Henry Homestead, or Bodemulla the Printer. There you go. KSLO, we'll see you on the other side of 3.
One of the first things I wanted to talk about today.
And what happened?
And I darn near let it slip.
Go ahead.
And it was something that I wanted to do. I thought the funeral for Dwayne Leger was Monday. I don't know where I got that information, but that's what was recorded. And Sunday night, when I was reading and starting to work on my program, I realized that they had buried him Sunday afternoon. And I'm speaking of Dwayne Leger, age 53. I understand he would have been 54 if he'd have lived 15 minutes later.
Okay.
That's what I was told. But anyhow, to his mom and daddy, who I was literally raised with, Glenn and Lillian Leger, my deepest of sympathies. The smile you see right there was the smile that he carried with him all the time, Dwayne did.